up, everybody? This is Round by Round with Derek and Daniel, and today we got a guest, my boy Carlos over here, former power lifter, now strongman, competing in strongman, and he's gonna discuss the differences between the two, and he's gonna tell you a little bit about himself and what he thinks the difference between powerlifting and strongman is. All right, take it away, Carlos.
All right. First of all, thanks for the invite.
No problem.
And then, honestly, man, these are two things that people get confused all the time. Powerlifting and strongman both involve lifting heavy ass shit. The difference is in strongman, the objects are really awkward and really, really heavy. In in powerlifting, it's set on bars. It's set in places that you can kind of get a good grip on it.
Yeah, it's the most advantageous position to lift something in powerlifting, right?
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm still a newbie to strongman. I barely had my first competition in Tallahassee. Got a second place. I got a feel for it, but I mean, I still have to do a lot of different events that I have never tried.
Oh yeah, that's cool, dude. And I mean, strongman, that's more of like, I feel like that takes more skill work to do for some of the odd lifts and stuff, like the log press and the just like the different movements you were telling me about. Explain to the people like some of the movements like that might take a little bit of practice, like stones, the log press, farmer's carries. There's got to be strategy to all this stuff, man. It's a bunch of different stuff. It'll wear you out if you're not doing it right, I guess. Exerting your energy in the right way, I guess. Like if you exert your energy in the wrong way in strongman, I feel like you'll just wear yourself out and not be any good for the rest of the competition. Explain to us a little bit about how the competition goes.
See, that's the thing about strongman. You have to lift weird objects, and you can do it however you want. Everybody has different techniques. So you just got to find out the technique that you have to use to lift the object without hurting yourself and getting it the distance that you have to go. In powerlifting, they already have kind of a technique that you have to follow. And if you stray away from it, you don't qualify for this.
So it's more rules, right? It's more it's a smaller lane. Like strongman, it's a bigger lane. You can kind of do things your way, and powerlifting, it's their way or no way.
Yeah, they just kind of give you, let's say, you have to throw this atlas stone above this bar. You have to do it so many times in a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
In powerlifting, they would make you do it a certain way, and if you stray from that form, that rep doesn't count. Over here in strongman, you can do it however you want, and you have a time.
Yeah, it's just getting the most work done. You know what I mean? Because the work. If you think about it, you're taking an X amount of weight, and you're moving it a certain amount of distance. Even if it's reps or if it's a farmer or whatever, you just take this weight and move it this distance. Whether it's stones over the bar, whether it's farmer carry, whatever, pulling a semi. I've seen some of this shit, man. It's crazy. Flipping tires.
All of these events, they engage all your body, not just partially. You have to engage your whole body. So after every workout, you're drained, and it's a whole different feeling from the powerlifting over here to the strongman.
Yeah, and that's crazy. That's I guess it's just so unique too, because do you have an idea of what you're getting into? Because there's so many events. You don't do every single event, right? In one show. Like
I was saying, I just tried a little bit. Every show is different. This show might have only 5 events, and the other show has 6 or 7 events, and they're
really?
all different.
Oh, really? Wow.
They have the car pulling events. They have the Hercules events where you have to hold pillars, for a certain amount of time.
Oh yeah, I seen that. That's dope.
Farmer walks. They have just pretty much is they do stuff that you look at and you're like, damn, that's a heavy ass object. I can't believe he's gonna lift it.
Damn, that's crazy, dude. That's crazy. Yeah, and I think it's more entertaining too, because I've watched a couple of strongman events and stuff, and I'm like, damn, dude, that's grimy. That shit looks hard. Powerlifting events, they're boring because it's all it is someone doing a squat, someone doing a bench, and someone doing a deadlift. It's all right, same 3 lifts. You know what to expect. Everything. Strongman, you don't even know what to expect, man. I don't know. It's more unpredictable. But would you say that being a powerlifter first helped you become a good strongman, or do you think? What's your opinion on that?
Definitely, man. When I started getting taught the strongman events, having a powerlifting background, it made certain events, certain motions way more natural for me. Uh, I had a lot more depth to start off for the events where a person who doesn't have that background would struggle with flexibility. And
Mm.
powerlifters have great explosiveness
Yeah,
and great flexibility.
yeah, because you're getting that heavy ass weight down, you're exploding it up. Exactly, man. I looked into the West Side Method by Louis Simmons, and man, they train all kinds of people, man. Football players, MMA fighters, all kinds of field athletes. You know what I mean? Professional ones, baseball players, football players. I'm sure basketball players. They train all kinds of professional and athletes at Westside, and it's a powerlifting gym,
I
and it
mean,
gets them better at their sport.
if you look at this stuff on YouTube, they make it the athletes they make it look so easy.
Yeah, yeah,
But when you actually try this event, I mean, it pushes each individual to its limits. It
yeah,
makes you want to throw up, give up, and not do this shit
yeah.
again.
It's easier said than done.
Yeah. I mean, come on, try this shit, and you're gonna see that there's a new respect for them once you try these
Oh yeah,
events.
dude. That's anything, dude. I definitely agree, dude. I mean, yeah, I mean, to take it off subject for a second, if you look at a boxer in the ring, you're thinking, oh man, I'd whip that person's ass or whatever. But until you're in there, man, you're just like, well, fuck, man, never mind. You know what I mean? And I'm not even talking about you don't even have to compete. You can go to a gym and spar. You know what I mean? Spar guys, they really do compete. And I mean, you don't have to wait. You don't have to do training camp. You don't have to sign up for a fight. Just go in a local gym, a boxing gym, hang around for a week or two, get to know the coach and the guys, and you'll be sparring, and you'll taste what it's like. And then in strongman, same thing. You go to that strongman gym or however what kind of gym they have set up, and you try their workouts, and you're gonna taste what that's like. You're gonna be like, damn, man, this is harder than what I thought. You know what I mean?
See, and the thing is, strongman's for everybody. People
Yeah,
think that, oh, I have to lift some outrageous ass weight to be a strongman. No, I mean, like, there's different weight classes, just like how there is in powerlifting, and you have to build your way up. And it's for everybody. Maybe not everybody's for strongman, but strongman's definitely for everybody.
yeah. If you all it takes is hard work, and really pushing yourself. You know what I mean? Because I guess it's more of a gut check. Some of the things y'all do, like fuck, dude, like I know when I do my calisthenics training, I do like a lot of pull-ups and push-ups and inverted rows. I do a lot of high volume calisthenics, and I know after my workouts, sometimes my high volume calisthenics, I like to go to my backyard and either use my sled or my farmer's bars. Like there's bars you put weight on them and you carry them. Farmer's handles. I got conditioning ropes. I know that's not really strong, man, but it's a form of external
I mean,
resistance training.
at the end of the day, man, there's hundreds of ways you can condition your muscles.
Yeah.
Not one of them is better than the other one. And if you use different kinds, you're gonna have a better physique.
Yeah, oh yeah, dude, definitely, man, because like I said, I like to do rounds on my heavy bag. I like to, lift weights, powerlifting style. I like to do body weight stuff, and I like to do a lot of sprints, contrast sprints with a heavy sled, farmer's carries, tire flips, crazy, like, I sandbag carries. I guess things you would consider strongman events, you know what I mean? Maybe not as of extreme, but it's still like a subcategory of that.
Like I said, man, a strongman events could be anything. Lifting something that is kind of heavy to you could be amazing to somebody else.
Yeah. And so now I got a question. So let's say if someone out there listening and they want to give strongman a shot, you know what I mean? They want to try it out. What do they have to do to get started, and what can they expect from it? You know what I mean? First of all, like, what would they need? What would they need to do to get started in strongman?
Well, okay, like I said, I'm still new to the strongman, so there's a lot of companies out there that put out the competitions. They put dates and locations, the amount for the entry fees and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's after you feel that you're ready to go see where you're at.
Yeah, yeah,
To get into these competitions, your whole body has to be strong.
yeah.
So I would just suggest get a gym membership and do full body workouts. Make sure that like by the end of the week you worked out every single muscle in your body.
Yeah.
And then eventually when you go try these events and you learn the exercises, you just have to focus on the time and the weight that you're lifting.
Okay, okay. So you would say just build a broad base of strength, either with like a gym membership or and what kind of things would they be doing inside the gym for this generalized strength base that you would like them to build?
I mean, I always start off with squats. I feel like everybody kind of neglects their legs, and they always focus on the top part. I mean, yeah, it's nice to have those top show muscles, arms, chest, and all that.
Yeah,
But when you see someone with some really small legs, you know that they're neglecting them and that they're not as strong as they could be.
yeah.
So that's the first one I'm gonna say is like so squats and
Hmm.
depth within them because everybody needs to have squats, so they don't get the full impact of each rep.
Yeah, yeah.
I definitely do deadlifts because that engages a lot of your body too.
Okay.
Um, let's see. Obviously, bench. Get
Bench press.
your pecs in shape.
Yeah,
I like to do a lot of pull-ups. That's more calisthenics, but
but
when
weighted
you're
pull-ups.
when you're a bigger person doing pull-ups, if
It's
it's
doing a lot
harder
more
to
for
get
you.
into them.
Yeah,
So
dude. I mean, you're telling me I'm 215, man.
yeah,
I mean,
I mean, eventually everybody like gets better. They just give
yeah.
up before they get better.
Oh yeah, dude. And what are some of the other exercises like? So you would like a person going in there doing squats, deadlifts, bench press, weighted pull-ups, or pull-ups in general. And I mean, so you would like them to build a strength base on these exercises, correct? So it would help them with their strongman, correct?
Yeah, I mean, like they have to have their whole body strong. So those exercises involve their whole body.
Yeah,
And then if they can get like some dumbbells and hit the small muscle groups,
yeah,
then their
yeah,
whole body is gonna be strong. And all these events, they give you a little routine, and you have to do it. And it's all about lifting some weird object, and you're using a lot of receptor muscles, because
yeah.
it's the objects are odd, man. They're huge and they're odd. So like as you're walking with it, you feel like you want to stumble to one side or to the other side. You're using your core, you're using all your legs, so like your whole body has to be strong.
So your whole okay, so full body, and I like it. I like it. We utilize full body workouts as well. But another thing I was gonna ask, how frequent should someone be training their full body? Like, if you do a full body session, you work your head to toe, in one session. How many times a week should you be doing that?
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Everybody has different limits.
Uh huh.
Like even as everybody starting off as newbies, like one person could like last an hour benching and the other person only lasted like 10 minutes.
Okay.
So you just got to see where your limit
Where
is,
you're at. Mhm.
and you always got to push your body to where it's uncomfortable, because a lot of people think that it's about time. Like, oh, I spent an hour, 2 hours in the gym. That doesn't matter. What matters is how you spent that time in there. You could have
The
spent,
intensity.
yeah, intensity. You could have spent 30 minutes in there. But if you're actually uncomfortable and you're
Working
sweating,
yourself. Yeah.
this is going to be more beneficial than if you were 2 hours in there and like
Just
on your
goofing
phone
off.
texting. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. And like with the Iron Rooster method, what I'm trying to do, man, is I'm trying to tighten everything up. You know what I mean? Like how you said, go in there for a hard hour. Like I think that's a good rule of thumb. You know what I mean? I discussed a little bit about it, and it was pretty much 2 days, full body calisthenics training with some type of leg exercise, like a heavy T handle swing, or some sandbag carries, or some sandbag squats with a heavy sandbag. High repetitions, coupling that kind of stuff with body weight, and then having 2 days a week where I'm doing like your big compounds like you were discussing. You know what I mean? Like my go-to compounds, I got 6 of them. I like the squat, the deadlift, the overhead press, the weighted dip, the pin lay row, and the weighted pull up. Those big 6 exercises, like I love going to those. And for like my smaller muscle groups, like my single joint movements, I like to use like bands, like face pulls for my rotator cuffs, tricep push downs with the heavy resistance bands, bicep curls with them, working my forearms with some type of grip implements. I mean, like you said, working my neck, with a neck harness. So I like to work on my single joint movements after like I train some like big heavy compounds. I usually go 3 and 3. I'll do like I like to couple the squat, the overhead press, and the pin lay row together, because you're working your squat, your overhead press, and you're working your rowing muscles. So it help your deadlift a little bit. And then if I'm not doing those 3, I'm doing either deadlifts, because full body workout. And to decompress myself from that deadlift, do weighted dips and weighted pull-ups. So now I'm sticking heavy body weight movements with a heavy deadlift. That's working your full body. Maybe not every single thing, but then you got your single joint moves. Or I'm doing heavy squats, heavy overhead press, and heavy pin leg rows. Intense, like you said, really putting weight on the bar. And I mean, what do you think about a program like that? Does that sound good or?
It's like this. Even though I'm competing in strongman, I don't just train like a strongman.
Yeah.
There's different types of ways to approach how to train your body. There's calisthenics, there's powerlifting, there's strongman,
Yeah.
there's CrossFit. There's so many things out there. I
Mhm.
think if you go into all of them a little bit, you can grow better, stronger.
Yeah, just like we were saying, like you do in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so there's no right or wrong way to
Yeah.
train.
Mhm.
I think it's more about the form. Because I've seen people go heavy and, let's say, bench, and they progress too fast, and then they get
Yeah,
hurt.
hurt. Yeah, yeah.
And they could have just stayed 20 pounds lighter,
Yeah, it's not always.
and
It's
they would
a.
have been good.
It's about the number, but it's not. Like you should be always trying to get better numbers, but you shouldn't go do anything for it. You know what I mean? Like keep yourself in check, keep your form in check. You know what I mean? Like make sure you're doing everything the right way, because if you get the numbers the right way, that's when the size gets put on. That's when the performance gets put on. When you do it the wrong way, it's just injuries, and that's why so many people get hurt. It's because they're in a rush. The process should what? I mean, how long have you been lifting, man? I mean, think about to get to the level you're at now. How many years did it take you? You know what I mean? I remember, man, when me and you were training in high school.
I mean, that's the thing. I've been on and off, but people act like you're gonna get a strong physique in a couple months, but no, it really takes years.
Oh yeah, dude.
You gotta go into it so long that you forget how long you've been training, and it's just part of your lifestyle.
It's your lifestyle.
Maybe like 7 years. you know?
7 years, yeah,
So it's been a good minute.
yeah, yeah, dude. Because I know, I mean, I've been training for years too, and I'll, you know what I mean. I'll be the first to admit my mistakes. I didn't always take weight training as seriously as I should have, and my numbers reflect that, and I regret it. But I'm working on my numbers. You know what I mean? Like my squat's not where I want it to be. None of my big lifts are where I want them to be. You know what I mean? I feel like if I would have started weight training earlier in life, I'd have some pretty respectable numbers. But other aspects in my fitness, like you said, like my running is on point, my calisthenics are on point. You know what I mean? Just my overall conditioning, just from doing boxing rounds, it's on point. So now the only thing that's trailing behind is that, like my big six lifts and some of that strongman stuff we were talking about.
If you have the chance to go to the gym with somebody who already has some experience,
Yeah.
that helps a lot, because how you were talking earlier, I don't want to count the good 6 months in the beginning, because I was doing a lot of shit wrong. Exercises that maybe seem simple, like bench, but I was doing it in a wrong manner, to where it's like I was bouncing the weight,
Yeah.
or just certain little details.
The little minute details that you
they could have
yourself
got
don't
me
go.
hurt, or that they just look bad when
Yeah.
I was doing them.
Yeah, dude, because I know when I go to boxing gyms, like, and I'll go, and I've been to some all over the place, and when I go, I always just try to have the coach work with me and work out my tweaks. Even though, like you said, I've been training, I've been hitting bags, I've been hitting mitts, I've been sparring a little bit for years now, but I'm always trying to get better. Everybody needs a coach. I mean, pro fighters have coaches. All these pro powerlifters and strongmen, they have coaches. They have somebody who critiques them, and everybody. You never outgrow a coach, and I think that when you get the coach and you get the right coaching and you get on a good program, I think that's when your training really starts. You know what I mean? And you can build a base on your own by just hard work, but it could also be, like you said, it could be catastrophic. It could cave in on you.
No, man, of course. If you think that you can't learn anything else, you're not gonna get any better. Some of the best people out there, the best examples, they still have hundreds of people like helping them out, giving them advice.
Hell yeah.
They still learning stuff every day. So
Yeah, and it's like everybody needs somebody to look at them, because you in your head, you might think everything is good, but then, you know what I mean, if somebody looks at it from a different angle, hey, you know what I mean, you give them a little bit of butt wink on your squat, or hey, your form's kind of breaking down in deadlift just a little, even though you thought it wasn't. But if somebody looks at it, be like, oh shit, all right, and you work on things, with boxing, it could be little minuscule things, keeping your elbows tucked, or you know what I mean, bringing a jab back to your chin. Little minuscule things that you yourself don't pay attention to, but another eye will always pay attention to. And I think, with the beauty of the internet, being able to send those things off to somebody, putting it out there for somebody to look at, and now you have the whole world pretty much critiquing you. You know what I mean? And I think that's a viable tool for some people. You know what I mean? Snapchat, YouTube. Post your form. Post what you do on social media. And people will be quick to correct you, but you got to take heed, because there'll be people really trying to help you, and then there'll be people just trying to hate. And you got to learn to differentiate between the two.
This is Round by Round with Derek and Daniel. And we have a special guest here, Enrique. And we're going to be talking about the UFC 241 co-main event.
What's up, man? It's Enrique. Glad to be here. Thank you for having me on the show.